I wonder if okay, I'm just gonna keep it like this. Okay. Hey y'all, welcome back to Evolving Butterfly Guidance with me, Doctress Monica Nicole. Here we are all about evolving out loud in our life harmony and our purpose through the energy of our ancestors. Thank you for all of your likes, your comments, your shares, and your subscribes and support here on the channel. It is always appreciated, my loves. So this is my second time doing this video, and I'm happy I trusted, the guidance to stop the last one because it was a lot of distractions. The birds were like cutting up in the background, and it caused a lot of distractions in the message. And after that, though, another message was given to me, and so Spirit was like, "See, everything works in divine timing. So nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Everything has happened for this moment for you to work off of and build on. Everything was made up to this moment. You have some people that didn't shift with you. You really wanted them to. You were working with them for quite some time to like teach them certain techniques or information or motivate them to, go after what they're doing, all of that jazz. And they decided against it. And it hurt you because you care about them. You love them. You know, you don't tell them things to like hurt them or to harm them. You tell them things because you care about them. Um, but they're not able to take it in that manner. And just like they weren't able to take the things that you were saying to them in that manner, that's the same thing that's kind of like with life right now and the energetic shift that's happening. Y'all see the world from different angles. And the thing is, this person, I gave this actually an example on TikTok. This person, it's like, say you got this person a plane ticket to go with you out of town somewhere, out of the country, okay? And so you're at the airport and the gate, they're starting to board and you're like, okay, where are they at? You call them and they're like, oh, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. And now everyone is boarded and the gates are closing like in a couple minutes, and you call them, you're just like, I'm trying to get them to keep the gates open, where you at? They're about to close it. And they're like, oh, I had to go back home because I had to go get X, Y, and Z, and I thought they'll wait for me. But the gates closed. Those gates are like a portal, you know. Time, although time isn't real, energy is. And there's a portal of time that we have to go through something before we miss the ride, before we miss the trip. And you have someone around you who you were like that with. Um, you got them the ticket and, all of that. And they just, all they had to do was show up on time. They couldn't even set their own alarms and stuff and be disciplined and responsible enough to show up on time. You're being prepared to be around new like levels and like energies of people, new calibers, not just the calibers where you're always the one helping and upgrading or fixing, but people are doing that for you too. Reciprocity. And this is important, especially when many of you all, if you're still here listening to this message, you may have a childhood wound of having to prove your love, having to prove that you care by how much you, what, proving that you're worthy of love by how much you give, how much you help, how much you care, how much you support, how you performed, only to find none of that really matters. None of it really matters. 555. None of it really matters. So now life is being lived unapologetically. And in you living unapologetically, it's like sunshine and rainbows, you know, because you spent so much of your life making yourself smaller so that other people would be comfortable until you got to a place and you realize, wait, they're not comfortable if I'm small or big. They're never comfortable. They're never comfortable because they're not even comfortable inside themselves. So whether I'm quiet and I don't say nothing or I'm loud and I talk all the time, if someone is not at peace internally, they won't be able to provide it externally, you know. And the thing is that make sure that you don't beat yourself up over wanting to love or support, or even feel like, sometimes it could be easy to feel like, oh, I wasted my time, I wasted my energy. No, you didn't. Anytime you follow your intuition, you follow your higher power, like your higher self, the higher power, like you need to know that it's in alignment, because even if it's just meant to be that you're a lesson to them, whatever that lesson may be, right? So I crashed out on somebody, right? In text message. I said, normally I take the high road. I don't say nothing. I just be, but I'm about to just let all this, I'm about to let it out. Okay. I'm about to tell you everything I feel right now. Like, it's so, although this person, they may take it as, oh, she's crazy, or they may take it as, like, dang, I don't know what they gonna take it as, but I'm gonna listen to my intuition that's telling me to crash out, and I'm gonna say what I need to say and not worry about what's going to come after that. And I feel like for a lot of you all, you may have been like the peacekeepers or the peacemakers. People always try to talk about how you are X, Y, and Z. So you would do X, Y, and Z to try to not prove that they are right about certain things. So, for example, I grew up as a tropical Aries, so people, what do they like to say about Aries? Aries like to fight. Aries always mad. Aries always blah, 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 blah. But in reality, I'm a lover. Like, I am low key. I just started breaking the habit of codependency. Very overgiving, very loyal. Like, but then I would take on the traits eventually of, like, I don't even know how to put it, but it's just like I would try to overcompensate for those other traits so that I don't appear a certain way. But in reality, if in a certain way, my spirit is saying that I need to cuss some shit out, I'm going to cuss some shit out. Okay? It's a time and place. And our spirit knows when it's the time and place. Okay? Our spirit knows when it's a time and place. That's all I can say. Okay? So in this season of your life, those boundaries that you were forced to learn, boundaries were a big theme that just recently passed. Boundaries, boundaries. And that's why we're even hearing a lot about boundaries in the sense of like with land and countries and stuff, and states. Boundaries. You are the conductor. So don't get mad at yourself for giving and doing all that. Things happen because they have to happen. You never know the lesson that whoever needed to learn, that they learn it, right? And that you get yours too. You get yours too. I don't know. Have y'all ever crashed out before? What was it like? I crashed out in high school before, and then I've like crashed out in my adulthood before. And I've never felt bad from crashing out. Never. Okay? Never. Never. But okay, so the other piece that goes in here too. So as we're talking about boundaries and stuff, right? You can have a caring heart and a loving heart and still say no. You can have a caring heart and a loving heart and still say no. Now, yes, different relationships have different, levels of intimacy or boundaries or whatever the case is. But yeah. I'm looking over at this tree right now, and this bad boy is shedding. Okay, it is shedding heavy. It's shedding even more than what it normally was before. And it's so interesting how every species, in a way, every living being in nature has a shedding process of letting go of something. And when I say it's shedding, like the bark on the tree is actually falling off. Like I can go and pull off bark if I wanted to. And that's literally where we are. That's the interconnectedness of the shedding of the old layers. So the old layers of wanting to be a people pleaser, the old layers of wanting to bring everyone with you, the old layers of feeling like you have to be the center of understanding or of knowledge or of support. Like literally shedding all of that. I also got to keep looking around, y'all, because I saw a possum yesterday and it was in broad daylight. Okay, that thing just came walking by. I said, "Oh hell, oh hell!" It was real comfortable, real comfortable. So I be on guard now. Okay, I done seen the possum. Child, them things so ugly. They so ugly. But anyway, so back to the trees in the sense of the shedding. So even with you, like you're currently shedding old beliefs, old behaviors, old things that were connected to an old timeline, an old reality of yours, that you were a part of. And that time of your life was real, but now another time is more real. Another time is more real. So as even with that coming out, it's like putting weights. What's more weighted? Your new experiences weigh more now than your old experiences. It's like shifting the weight, you know. Um, it makes me think of, that old song, Make New Friends, but keep the old ones. One is silver and the other's gold. Why both can't be gold, right? Well, both of them are actually worth the same, but when we were younger, we were just, because now silver is starting to be worth a lot, real silver. But it's like, no, sometimes the old, may not be just like the best. So why judge the new as if the new is not as important as the old when the old could very much so be potentially holding you back too? So sit with that and allow yourself to feel that. But you choosing to not engage in a certain way does not make you a horrible person. It's simply you being in alignment with your higher self and forward movement. Because the reality is that those who are continuously shifting with you and moving with you, they will, you won't have to coax them into it. You won't have to motivate them into it. You won't have to talk them into it. They'll naturally be like, let's go. You deserve connections that have ease. You deserve connections that show that it prioritizes growth in the connection. Because there can be growth and connections. Like, how can you call someone a friend but y'all don't talk or like communicate? Like, how are y'all friends? It's an old notion. So y'all are connected on an old timeline. Y'all aren't even connected on your current timeline. So it's a false reality. But that's a whole nother conversation in itself, of the sense of those old relationships that we no longer have the same connection with, like how it's really just an indication of an old timeline. Like, it's an indication that they're not on your frequency, they're not on your alignment, they're not on your flow. And that can be hard, especially when you have many years of connections with people, you know. But you know when time is up. Everyone has a different understanding or a different flow or a different meaning for it. Are you okay, baby? It was a blue jay. It's like it went up to the thing and it grabbed something, then it went, child, I don't know. The birds been acting up. They were acting up earlier. Like, they were cutting up in this tree to the point where it got so distracting and I couldn't finish doing the reading because I kept being so distracted by the birds. And even then, that's a message going into here, like how our old timelines can be very distracting to our new timelines, to our new realities, to our new lives. So we have to know when something is connected to the new or when it's connected to the old. And that lets you know what its assignment is in your life. Is it connected to your old or your new? You know? But I'm going to leave that there, y'all. Feel free to check out the links to everything down below. We're starting our writing workshop on this weekend. So go on and get registered before registration closes. I think it closes on Thursday or Friday. So go on and get registered for that down below if you're ready to publish a best-selling book. Feel free to check out the subconscious healing archetype quiz where you can receive a workbook at the end to help you continue expanding and mastering. Um, all of my books, links, and all of that jazz will be down below for you to be able to find. And that's it, y'all. That's it. As always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.